Welcome back to the CryptoWorld channel. Everyone, my name is Josh, and right now Ethereum is playing out a short-term bounce against Bitcoin as expected. And so later in this video, I'll be talking more about that and what it means for the altcoin market, especially when it comes to the Bitcoin dominance getting a rejection, which is technically a good sign for altcoins in the shorter term, but stick around to the end of the video to find out more about that. Just starting off on the 3-day Ethereum to US dollar chart, and obviously we're still finding a lot of support at around 1700, as I've been talking about for a while now on the channel, because this $1,700 level of support is derived from what we saw in the middle of last year. We saw 3 separate touch points along 1700, providing a lot of support, obviously. But as for possible points of resistance, looking at the 4-hour Ethereum to US dollar chart, we do have some resistance at around 1900 approximately, based on previous support flipping into new resistance. And we already have 2 other confirmed levels of resistance sitting at around 2065 and around 2150. And just giving you a quick update on the daily Ethereum to US dollar chart, we're currently seeing another bullish divergence form right here, because obviously we have lower lows in the daily candle closes for the price of Ethereum, but we have higher lows in the daily RSI. But what we need to see is this daily candle close in the green, which would actually confirm a low in the daily RSI. And at the time of recording this video, the next daily candle close is in around 3 hours from now. And now looking at the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart on the 3-day time frame, which is experiencing a short-term bounce, which I talked about yesterday before we actually saw that bounce. Because if you're looking at the 3-day RSI for Ethereum versus Bitcoin, not only did we enter into oversold territories for the first time in a long time, but the 3-day RSI was also running into this descending line of support where we've previously found multiple bounces. And over the past 1 year or so, basically every time where we see the 3-day RSI for Ethereum versus Bitcoin bounce along this line of support, that usually coincides with some sort of bounce, at least in the shorter term, for the price of Ethereum against Bitcoin. And so that is playing out very nicely so far, but keep in mind, this is still just in the shorter term. We have not seen a bullish trend reversal, because we still have a lot of work to do here for this to flip much more bullish again. Because right now on the 3-day Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart, obviously we're forming lower highs and lower lows, so we're in a clear downtrend on the larger timeframes here. So I wouldn't necessarily expect this bounce in the 3-day RSI and the 3-day Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart to play out like what we saw during October and November last year, because during that time period in the market, we were seeing a lot of bullish price action overall, and that is simply not the case at the moment. And so instead, if you're looking at the other 2 time periods right here, where we saw a bounce in the RSI from this line of support, those 2 times in the market were at least a little bit more similar to what we're seeing at the moment. For example, this first bounce in the 3-day RSI occurred during the middle of last year, around June. Obviously, during that time, we saw a lot of bearish price action in the overall crypto market, and this time right here, the 3rd bounce was during January this year, which was also a bearish time in the market. So basically, the most likely scenario for Ethereum versus Bitcoin, based on these 2 previous examples, would be to play out some sort of shorter term bounce like what we saw here or here, for example. So yes, we could go a little bit higher, but I wouldn't expect a full-on bullish reversal. Instead, I would expect Ethereum to turn around again against Bitcoin for potentially another leg to the downside, considering the fact that when you're zoomed out on the weekly Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart, looking at where we bottomed out in the 2018 bear market and leading into the actual bottoms for Ethereum versus Bitcoin back in 2019 and early 2020, we are still sitting at some very high valuations for Ethereum versus Bitcoin, relatively speaking, based on previous cycles. But if you're taking a look at the Bitcoin dominance charts here on the 3-day time frame, obviously, as I've been talking about over the past few days, we've gotten a rejection from around 47% Bitcoin dominance based on this previous high. And for now, this is only a shorter term bearish signal, not a full-on confirmed bearish reversal for the Bitcoin dominance, like what I was saying with the short-term bounce for Ethereum versus Bitcoin, not a full-on bullish reversal for Ethereum versus Bitcoin, which means at the moment, while we're seeing a bit of a pullback for the Bitcoin dominance and a bit of a bounce for Ethereum versus Bitcoin in the shorter term, we are seeing a short-term recovery in some altcoin prices. If you're looking at CoinMarketCap, going down the list, we're seeing some decent gains today. Obviously, a lot of the top altcoins are out of the red today, as I talked about in yesterday's Ethereum update video. But for now, considering the fact that we have not confirmed a full-on bearish reversal, at least just yet, in the Bitcoin dominance, my crypto investment investing strategy remains the same, where I'm very light on altcoins and more heavier into Bitcoin and stablecoins. And I am slowly dollar cost averaging into Ethereum, but not as much as what I'm doing with Bitcoin. Once again, I'm staying light on altcoins, and especially outside of Ethereum, I'm not really holding any heavy altcoin bags, because during a time in the market like what we're in at the moment, altcoins can obviously be a very bad holding. But of course, that is not financial advice. I'm just telling you my personal strategy around altcoins, Bitcoin, and crypto altogether. And of course, what you do with your own money is completely up to you. And make sure to check out one of these videos popping up right here on your screen if you want to know how to maximize your profits in crypto, even if prices are going down. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.